Okay, thanks for bearing with me. We are now streaming live and we can go ahead and call this meeting to order. Like I said, we do have a quorum. So the meeting agenda is on your screen there. So we're going to call this meeting to order. We'll go and start with a roll call. Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis is present. He is on the phone. Mr. Freitas.
Hi, Cam Freitas here.
Thank you, Mr. Freitas, and Mr. Quesada.
Hi, Jaime Quesada, present.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. So we'll go to the next item, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next item is an open forum. We do have a guest on this morning, and that's Miss Angela McNeely. Miss Angela has expressed some interest in serving on our board. We do have a vacancy that we will discuss here in a few minutes, but Miss Montoya has resigned from our board. So we do have a vacancy. So Miss McNeely, I really appreciate your interest in serving on our board. If you don't mind, if you could please introduce yourself, what career you come from, and I guess a reason why you do have an interest in serving the Sendero Prep Governance Council.
Yes, good morning. My name is Angela Parra McNeely. I am from Alamogordo, New Mexico. I lived there most of my life and moved to go to college at K-State. I'm a financial planner and have been for 26 years. Both of my daughters go to school here in Las Cruces, one at Mayfield and the other at East Pacho. I expressed my interest. I've known that I wanted to serve the community since I moved here 6 years ago. And this sounds like a great opportunity that I would love to have to be on your board.
Thank you, Ms. McNeely. I believe so as well. I did, discuss your interest with some other staff members previously, and I believe with your professional background, with your, standing in the community, being a parent of kids in public schools, all of those things combined, I feel you are a great candidate. So does Mr. Freitas, Quesada, or Mr. Davis, do you have any comments or questions right now? And again, if you all decide to, we can, put this as an action item for our August meeting coming up here in a few weeks, and hopefully formally invite Ms. McNeely on our board.
Thank you.
We do have that vacancy and that opening that we need to fill.
I just wanted to say welcome. Thank you for participating, coming in and introducing yourself, Angela. I look forward to working with you and learning more. So I think we'll be probably having an action to this next meeting.
Great. Thank you so much. I look forward to getting to know all of you as well.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Quesada. Ms. McNeely, thank you very much. Okay, there's no other members on the open forum. As far as members of the public, we are here at the school. There's nobody on site and there's nobody in the Zoom waiting room as well. So we can move on to the next item, which is item number 4, discussion and action for fiscal. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Cabral.
Let me get this spreadsheet open. I did want to kind of bring up the way that the reports were distributed this month. As you all know, it was a Google folder within Google Drive that had all of the information, the exhibits in it. So this should all be available to you all, and it was available prior to the meeting. So we are looking at our ending the current year that we were in. So all of these budget totals here, they're looking pretty good as far as spend down. You'll see that like, for example, Idea B, we did have that late in the year bar for that increase. That is a carryover fund, but we do have some limitations on when we can actually expend that. So we will prioritize getting that carryover spent down, I believe before September is over. Same thing for Title II, we had a carryover amount there. Medicaid is a carryover fund that we're able to kind of carry year to year that balance, as well as like the spaceport and some of these other highlighted funds. Does anyone have questions on this specific budget report? All right, I will move on to revenue for June 2025. You'll see that we did have quite a lot of revenue coming in, and that is just because of the year-end deadlines for PED. They were a little bit more strict this year in what we could submit and the dates that we needed to submit. So a lot of these are for RFRs submitted, as well as our operational SCG. We did receive our allocation of the spaceport gross receipts tax, so that's included there as well. And then also some of our Yonder replacement fees from students. So totaling revenue for the month of June, we're looking at $494,577. On the right, you'll see our pending RFRs, and these haven't been paid out at June 30th. So these are going to reflect in our new year, this revenue. Most of these have already hit the bank. So pending, we were looking at $67,000 at year end on June 30th. And then the comparison that I did in the revenue was just fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25. And that's also in the budget visuals when we get there. Does anyone have any questions on revenue? Okay. So moving on to disbursements. Disbursements totaling for the month of June 2025 is $317,254. That is just us closing up the year, paying out all of those open invoices on our accounts. So that is quite a large number, but again, it's pretty typical for the year ending. All right. So budget visuals, if you'll remember when we did the budget presentation, I did break out, as instead of having all of these smaller budget lines in the visual, what I did was break them up by function, just like our 25-26 budget presentation, just to get a little more clear view on what we're actually spending our allocation for the budget year. So of course, instruction is always typically going to be our highest. So the blue is our budget, and then what's outlined in the yellow kind of line there is our actual expenditures for the year. Moving on to our reimbursable funds. You'll see a lot of these, again, are coming close to that full expenditure of the award amount. There were a few that we didn't quite really reach that allocation, but overall, I do feel that this year we have really had a really strategic plan in place for all these grant funds that we're receiving, so that we're able to spend them down by the end of the year and not really have too much carryover to spend in that that quarter time frame from July to September. Right, and here's that revenue comparison. You'll see just kind of going through the year, the orange and having those RFRs in timely has made quite a difference. Does anyone have questions on the budget visuals or reports? If not, I can move on to action items.
I believe, hang on for so.
Oh.
Hi, guys.
Ms. Gonzalez, hi, hey, welcome.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I'm gonna use this as an excuse to say I was waiting for you, but I actually skipped over item number 2, so we're gonna have to go back to that.
That's okay.
I'll use that as an excuse that I was waiting for you so you can do it.
Okay, beautiful.
But we're in the middle of item 4 right now, so
Perfect.
we're about to get to the action items. Priscilla just went over all of the item 4A, all of the financials in Exhibit B, Ms. Gonzalez.
Yep,
Ms. Gonzalez, I also want to introduce you to Ms. McNeely. She's on our call right now, and she did introduce herself, gave a little background and information. She's interested in serving with us on our board due to our vacancy left by Ms. Montoya.
Nice. Well,
Good
welcome.
morning.
Good morning. So nice to meet you. And just a real quick intro on me. I'm Trish Gonzalez. I'm the board chair for Sendero. I'm so excited. We just changed our name, so I'm super excited. I've been on the board for 5 years. So this is my first year moving into second as being chair. It's a great board, great school. It's a valuable service that we add to the community. So I'm really excited to have someone interested in really giving back to our students and to our school. So welcome.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, Priscilla, you can go ahead and move on with item 4B if you'd like.
Okay, so this is the first action item that we have in our financial section this meeting. This is an annual inventory certification that is part of our audit. So we did have Records Consultants Incorporated come in, and what they do is come in each classroom, scan all the items that have been tagged, and will let us know if anything's missing or not where it's been. That service was actually provided in early June, so we were able to have that done before the year end on June 30th. So we are asking that this inventory certification be approved by the board in order to get that uploaded for auditors, since the audit process has already started. The next action item is resolution number 252602. And this is, again, kind of what we're trying to do is clean up some of the older activity accounts, some stale amounts that have not been used, since I came on in 2021. So really realizing what we can do with maybe those stale accounts. And this is allowing the director and business manager to move amounts from those stale accounts into accounts that where the funds will best be used to benefit the students. So they will be presented as bars like we do in any other transactions moving budget. Those will be presented to the board before they're actually realized.
Just to give you all an example, like we used to have, say, like a music club that we do not have anymore. So if there's any funds left over in that specific club and it's been there for a number of years, then we, need to move it to an account that we can use and that would benefit the school community and the students under a different activity account. So that's what that means.
Okay,
Is
thank you.
there by any chance estimated amount? Total?
I don't have that amount right with me, but I can get that for next board meeting.
And it's not a lot of money. It's
Right, but there's not really been a whole lot of fundraising that, has, in the first place, fundraising has to be done with a purpose and intent. So, coming out of COVID, we didn't really have a lot of that. So we are looking at really stale accounts where, they haven't been used in years.
so they're really like double digit or even maybe triple digit, but in the, low hundreds.
Right.
Nothing in 4 digits or more.
Okay. Yeah, I think as long as we have the data for the next meeting to make sure that we have the record of account available so that we can make sure that if it's 100 is moving from one account and 100 is moving to another. So that would be great.
any other questions on the activity account resolution? Okay. So moving on to the next action item, I do want to go through this a little bit more to announce a couple of the significant changes that have taken effect as of July 1st. So the first one being, we've historically provided reimbursements on actuals, meaning that individuals had to provide receipts. We went through those, made sure that they met the threshold per 24-hour period, and collected all those and would submit to PED if it was a reimbursable fund. But this year, DFA has kind of updated and kind of turned everything upside down in actually saying that we are not required to collect receipts anymore. There is a flat $70 allotment per 24-hour travel period. So that we've heard is just to kind of release some of that, the time and effort that PED and other agencies go through in having to reconcile the receipts to the actual travel and travel times. So yeah, this year we are going to follow the DFA statute and issue the $70 per 24-hour period for any professional development travel that our staff is going to participate in.
Okay.
The other thing was the overnight lodging threshold has been increased. So it used to be, so it increased $135 from last fiscal year. So I think this is going to be sufficient when we do allow our staff to travel and it is overnight travel. But anything over that $350 threshold per night will and must be approved by our head administrator before that is booked or actually realized on our credit card.
Okay.
And we're still gonna try to get, best rates and obviously not stay anywhere that charges that much, especially in New Mexico.
Right.
Albuquerque is where we're primarily at, so, we have some good rates at a couple of different places that we already have accounts for that are between, 110 to 140 a night, so we're still going to, utilize those practices.
Okay.
And I do want to note, it does sound like we are, following the per diem process, but we aren't, and we don't fall in that per diem category because the school actually pays for lodging for our staff. If we didn't provide lodging, then we would go with the per diem rate, that $180. But because we do pick up that lodging on the school credit card, we are considered an actual reimbursement process.
Now, I'm just asking, are they required to bring a receipt back to you once they check out to ensure that they truly did stay at the hotel?
Yes, and that is part of there's a checklist on the purchase order that I send to individuals when they're traveling, and the folio is part of what they send back along with their agenda and any kind of certificate of participation or name badge that does verify they were at the conference, and the agenda will tell us, what time limits they were in that training. And the folio is needed because that is part of our reconciliation with the credit card once that statement comes in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Right. Any more questions on the DFA rates? Okay. I think that's all for fiscal.
Nice.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, we can now entertain a motion to approve action items under 4B, that is the 24-25 inventory certification, the 25-26 activity account resolution, and the 25-26 DFA travel rates.
Is there a motion to approve action items A, B, and C for 24-25, 2025-26, and 2025-26?
Chair, make that motion.
Is there a second?
Mr. Davis, Ms. Gonzalez did make that, yes.
Okay.
Did he make the motion? I'll second
Uh,
it.
Yeah, he made the second, Mr. Casada, so we do have a motion and a second, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay. Oh, I forgot how it works. On this section, we had to change the verbiage, right?
You were at that training with Mr. Dan Hill. I think he's on the line as well,
Yeah.
so if you want to get clarification, you might.
Yes, Dan, can you help me clarify? Because I want to make sure that we're motioning correctly or that we're closing the motion correctly. I know we don't have to motion to adjourn.
Right. We did, I heard a motion in a second, so we should be good to vote on the
good.
item now.
So we can still say seen, no objections, motion carried.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a vote by acclamation, that's fine. And then I would just say if there's any objections, we should just note the objectors in the minutes. But
Okay.
as long as it's unanimous, then we're indicating how everyone voted.
So then we'll ask if there's any objections by the board, note the objection, and then we'll say seen, no objections, motion carried. Is that
That works, yeah.
the best way? Okay, perfect. Good. We want to get this nailed down perfect, Mr. Hill.
Yes.
I'm with you on that, so glad you asked.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, so is there any objections before we carry it forward? Is there any objections by the board? No objections noted. Seen, no objections, motion carried.
Good
Next.
job.
Superintendent's report. Mr. Martinez, let's rock
Yes,
and
actually, as mentioned, I guess I was in such a hurry and excited to introduce Ms. McNeely and go straight to open forum. I did overlook item number 2 in our agenda, so if I may, I can go back to that, please. And that's approval of today's agenda and our previous minutes. Again, these were emailed to you in advance. So I'm hopefully you had a chance to look the previous minutes over. And then obviously the agenda is in front of you, but it also was emailed in advance as well.
yes,
We do need to change the date on that, so we'll do that. Again, we didn't have a quorum last week. So we rescheduled for today, so we will make that administrative change and change that to July 30th as far as the agenda. And then the minutes were from June 25th, 2025.
is there a motion for approval of the agenda and previous minutes for the agenda for July 2023, 2025, and the minutes for June 25, 2025, Exhibit A?
I'll make that motion with the understanding that there'll be a date change.
Noted. Are there any objections to the approval of the agenda and previous minutes?
We need a second, Ms. Gonzalez first.
Oh, yeah. Is there a second?
Miss
I'm getting
Missy
excited.
Davis just seconded, yes.
All right. So was there a second? Sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Davis did, yes.
Okay, so no, is there any objections by the board? All right, seeing no objections, motion carried.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and sorry again for skipping that over earlier.
Superintendent's report, item number 5.
Yes, now we're ready for the superintendent's report. As always, we'll start with enrollment. We just started school. We're in our really second full week, even though we did start the 17th of July, or the 17th of July. But this is really our second full week. We're still stabilizing our enrollment. That's going to keep happening over the next probably month. Right now, we're at 200 exactly. And, you know, there's some transition going on right now where new students are coming in and we're having to drop some, you know, previous students for a variety of different reasons. But we've already replaced all of our 33 seniors that we graduated, and also replaced those that we've, you know, had to withdraw or drop for, again, a variety of different reasons. So we're in a really good spot right now, considering it's July 30th, and that 40-day reporting does not happen until October. So I am very, very confident that we are going to meet and probably even exceed our projected enrollment, which, as you all know, is you know, is the catalyst for our funding. So again, as the director, I'm comfortable with the enrollment. Miss Amy next to me, Miss Leslie, Miss Laura, all of the people that receive our new student interest and our families are doing a great job welcoming them in, giving them tours, and getting the process started for enrollment. Just this morning, we had another one that came very early, and we are constantly taking phone calls. So again, we are in a very good spot regarding enrollment right now. Okay,
Wonderful.
next item is was our Sendero launch party that did take place on July 19th. Invitations were sent out to our stakeholders, to the community, to our partners around the state. I know Mr. Quesada was able to make it, so he attended. Mr. Freitas attended. Ms. Gonzalez came the day before and saw the design, the environmental design of our new buildings. It's our name change and our logo change and our complete rebranding. The launch party included a DJ, food, a photo booth, tours around our facility and our CTE spaces, and some giveaways. These shirts were given away to our students and some of our industry partners. I would like to give some to you all as well. So when you get a chance, you can come by and get a new Sendero shirt, just so you could help us spread the word in our community that we are now Sendero, formerly Las Montañas. We're the same, people running the school, and same teachers and same school, just with a different name. So thank you all for all that who attended. And if you haven't stopped by, I know Mr. Davis stopped by last week, saw the new environmental design as well. So Ms. McNeely, you're welcome anytime as well to come check out our facility and our building. And it was a very successful launch party, and we believe that, that word is getting out there that we are now Sendero.
Mr. Martinez and members of the board, I would just like for it to be noted that in seeing the school, and us as a board, I think it's just phenomenal to see the vision that the school, the teachers, Mr. Martinez and the board all have envisioned. I mean, I think everything that Mr. Martinez and team had imagined really came to life. And I know that it's no small feat. I know all the legwork, paperwork, time, energy, and organization that goes into these kinds of large scale projects, as it was a very large scale project. And I would like to commend Mr. Martinez and his administration team for really stepping up incredibly to make our school look and feel so state of the art, so reflective of the mission and the vision that we have. And it makes me very, very proud to be on the board and to be able to represent the school and just have these kids be in this really cool environment. I would say my son would be so jealous if he was in school now compared to when they were there. It was already cool then, and it's just really moved up a whole nother level. So kudos to the entire team and board. So I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Ms. Gonzalez, and again, right back at you and the rest of the board for approving our reprogramming, our new name change, our rebranding, logos, and all of that. Like you said, the vision that we kind of first started with 3-4 years ago of providing a better opportunity for our graduates and our students as far as their adulthood and their future and career perspectives is really come to fruition, like you said. And the next item is the career programs of study that I'm going to talk about. And we, are really digging into those career programs of study in our 5 different pathways that we offer. So we could really get students prepared for adulthood and give them an opportunity to start a career right after high school if they choose to, or at least get a head start on any post-secondary plans and get them really kind of zeroed in on their future. So they could have a better shot, because as we all know, many of our students don't really have that catalyst at home. So it's up to us to provide that for them. And that's what we're trying to do here. Along with all the things that you mentioned, Ms. Gonzalez, it was pretty costly to do all of this. And you'll see, I guess, a lot of that come out in our financial report in August. So, you know, it was pretty expensive to redesign the building, you know, to get all of our work done, to get the word out and to get all this name change and rebranding. But fortunately, we did have, you know, we did have that budgeted. We had enough money to do so. And I feel that it's going to be a catalyst for even more students enrolling with us. So I believe we will, that was very well spent, and we'll receive it back in additional funding through additional enrollment is what my prediction is. So the week of when we started school on July 17th, those first few days there, we really focused on those career programs of study, especially with our new students that came in, not just the new freshmen, but any new students that transferred to us that were maybe in 10th, 11th, or even 12th grade. We provided a full day where they just learned about all of our 5 career pathway programs, and they got to choose which one they would like to be a part of. So it was a true student choice in how they built their schedule and what career program of study that they wanted to participate in. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. And as new students come in, Ms. Cisneros, Mr. Waugh, you know, my registrar staff, Ms. Leslie, they are making students aware of what those programs of study are as far as new students. And again, it's student choice as far as what they want to participate in and how they want to build their schedule out. And that'll continue to happen as more new students enroll. The next item is Project-Based Learning Works. It is a national professional development company that focuses on project-based learning. And CTE, they have a component in that development that focuses on that as well through PBL. So I brought them on this year to really catapult my project teacher teams into getting more professional developed in this area around project-based learning and CTE. So we had a 3-day workshop with all of the teachers to begin the school year, a full 3 days. So it was a lot of work. It was a really heavy lift for those teachers, but they came into, you know, this school year with the kids and their PBL plan a lot more prepared than they did last year. So we did learn a lot of lessons last year. We took those lessons along with the development that was provided by PBL Works and really have some great projects that the kids and the project teams are just beginning to work on as we kick off this new school year and gain some of that momentum. This is also an ongoing development. So on August 14th, the PBL Works professionals will be meeting with all teacher teams individually to continue to develop their skills in PBL and reflect on, you know, what has happened, what would then at that point be the first month of the school year and the first month of our projects. So I'll keep everybody up to date on that development and how that goes throughout the year. And again, at any time you would like to, you know, come by and check out what those projects are and what those kids are doing, you're more than welcome. You have an open invitation. I know Mr. Quesada, we discussed at the launch party to, you know, he might want to get involved in some of those projects, especially the business pathway and what those kids are doing around the community, as far as learning how to be entrepreneurs or just operate a business and be in that management position. So there's some opportunities there for you all to get involved in the actual project itself, you know, if you have the desire and the time to do so. Okay, the next item, we did have a board member resignation as mentioned earlier in the meeting. This is an official and formal announcement that Miss Diane Montoya has resigned her positions on our board. She has served for a number of years on our board. She has a number of grandchildren that have gone or come through Las Montañas or now Sendero Prep. And she was just getting a little more busy in her family responsibilities So she did resign, so we all thank her for her time served and appreciate her efforts. And she actually lives across the street, always has, so she'll still be kind of around. But that does vacate a position that we hopefully will fill with, Ms. McNeely, officially and formally next month. All right, my final item is an action item, and Ms. Priscilla, can you pull that up, please? It is an anti-distraction policy. This is a policy that is that comes from a recent legislative action with Senate Bill 11. It is, I believe, a governor, our Governor Lujan Grisham's, bill that I guess she sponsored, or made a priority herself. And we definitely were already on the right track with our own policies before this bill even came out. But really, it's an anti-distraction policy against, for students using electronic devices. So that includes, as you can see, cell phones, AirPods, earbuds, or gaming devices. We had already put in place, which you all know about, the use of Yondr pouches. So we are continuing to do that and just placing this formally in our policy per Senate Bill 11 that we need to do. So each student is distributed or given a Yondr pouch. That pouch locks, and you put your cell phone or your earbuds or AirPods in that pouch, and you do not have access to it during instructional minutes or instructional time. Those pouches unlock during lunch. We allow them to get to their devices when they're eating lunch, and then they have to lock it back up when they go back to class, and then unlock after school as well. So obviously they will have access to their cell phone at the end of the day. In case of emergencies, we could always use the front office staff. We could unlock their Yondr pouch. There are exceptions for their medical pouches that we have, that students can access them in a more easy way than the non-medical pouches. So we have some of those distributed to students who maybe have 504s or an IEP that require that.
Good.
And you could also see the consequences. And honestly, we've had a lot more success with this policy since we instituted it back in March of last school year than I thought. I thought we'd have more issues, but the kids are really pretty compliant with this policy and using their Yondr pouches. Now, a student, if they damage the Yondr pouch, will be charged $30 to replace it, but you really have to try very hard to damage that Yondr pouch. It's you have to really try to bang it and break into it quite a bit of times, or use a lot of force to damage it. They're really tough, and they're designed that way. So if the kids damages it, I mean, they've really tried to, and we feel it's, justifiable to charge them to replace that pouch, because it takes a lot. It's not, if you drop it on the floor, there's nothing that's going to happen to it. If you, even try to pull it open with some force, you're not going to be able to, or you're not going to be able to damage it even. You really have to try to damage it. So we feel that that fee is justifiable for our students to replace if they do that. Any questions on any items on this policy? This template, just so you know, was also provided by NMPED. So we just kind of filled it out and put our Yondr policy in there. So we feel, Mr. Hill, I'm sorry I didn't send this to you beforehand. I should have. But we feel that given by the NMPED template that it does comply with Senate Bill 11.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the policy is compliant. The statute, for what it's worth, was originally proposed to be much more restrictive, and then it got kind of watered down in the committees. And so it's actually, the requirement is that you just have a policy.
Right.
some schools, policy basically says we allow students to use phones. So, I don't necessarily agree with that policy, but it would be compliant, and yours certainly is as well.
Okay, thanks for confirming that. So yeah, ours is obviously more restrictive than that. We do see the value in students not having their cell phone during instructional time. It has increased engagement. It has increased, student performance in the classroom. So, we as an administrative staff and the teachers really love it as well. So, we are, happy with our Yonder pouches and that program that we have instituted and continue to do so.
I wish, Mr. Martinez, we could institute that in healthcare, in the workplace.
Yeah, right.
Same things, but the pouches are cool, just so that the board knows. I saw them. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I think it would really help engagement, and it was really a neat process.
And Ms. Gonzalez and everyone else, members of the board, the key is that the students still have possession of their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not taking their phone away. I never wanted to do that in my, really my career. And I believe it was a little over a year ago, I heard Dan Hill recommend not to do that as well, because it's liability to the school. So that just kind of confirmed what I've always, kind of thought myself. So I wasn't ever willing to do that, even before any of this. And so this is a really, really good solution because it does restrict the students from using their phone, but they still have it in their possession. And the kid, that's really what they care about. They know it's with them. They know they can use it at lunch and after school, they can unlock it and get it. And they're satisfied with that, knowing that they have it with them. No one's looking at their phone and looking into their stuff, and they know it's safe on their person. So I think that's why it's worked a little better than I expected.
Yeah, super cool.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments, we can entertain a motion.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Davis.
Can you give us next board meeting a breakdown or send us by grades?
Yes,
Attendance
by grade level.
Well,
or enrollment?
Enrollment.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We have that report usually ready, but again, there's so many moving parts right now to the beginning of the year that I was gonna wait until next month when things stabilize a little bit. And yes, we will have that prepared for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, unless there's anything else, we can entertain a motion to approve the anti-distraction policy as presented to you in Exhibit F.
I would definitely want to make that motion. I think it's great. So I'll make the motion to accept it as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Casala, for the motion. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for the second. Ms. Gonzalez?
Is there any objections by the board? Seen, no objections, motion carried.
All right, and we are now adjourned, right, Ms. Gonzalez?
Adjourned, we don't have to motion. So
All right.
thank you so much, everybody. I apologize for being late, but I really appreciate this school. And I want you all to have a wonderful week ahead because it has been a rainy week.